Get this 11 to 1 weekdays on the Triple M network.
With myself, Tony Martin, we've got Ed Cavalier and Richard Marsland, or as the Prime Minister describes us...
enormous fruits.
Oh,
Hey, come on.
that's unnecessary. Let's go to Ed Cavalier's DVD Corner.
It doesn't suck.
That's not what we intended.
The best thing I could find.
Really? That's all we have for DVD Corner?
Laurie Oakes on the milkshake.
We just love hearing Laurie Oakes sipping a milkshake while the camera's on the person he's talking to.
I like to think it's one of those Wendy's flake shakes as well. One of the ones with the... Oh, Rich, you like that?
Yeah, delicious.
Yeah, delicious. They get a whole cherry ripe in there, Tone. Try to get that through a straw, hey?
I've seen Richard trying to stuff a whole cherry ripe into a Farmers Union iced
Yeah,
coffee.
it doesn't look good.
One of his own correct. What do you call that one?
It's a cherry coffee.
Nah, you need like a fancy name.
That's not going to work.
You
You
need
need to give it like a famous person's name, like the Carrie Ann.
The Cherry Ann Kennel.
The cherry and Kelly.
Something like that.
Delicious.
John Stamos would like several.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, I know.
Talk about that later, I guess.
Dear, oh dear. He's obviously still recovering from losing the nude blue woman. The nude blue woman from the X-Men. That was
It's
his
true,
wife.
because you've gone nude blue woman X-Men
Yeah.
to Carrie Ann at 9 a.m. Good hard look at yourself then, wouldn't you?
I don't think he's marrying her. Or maybe he did.
No.
He wouldn't remember.
Lavender.
We'll get to... Are you saying it's a lavender
Yeah,
marriage?
I'm willing to say any marriage is lavender.
We love a lavender marriage on this show.
Favourite.
It's an interesting case, though, isn't it? When you've got Jodie Sweetin and had a crystal meth addiction, you've got Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen, of course, all kinds of trouble, and you look like the bad guy
Yeah, it's true.
because you were up drunk on Australian TV.
So true.
It's very hard to look bad next to those guys.
Is this the DVD corner?
Well, it would be if we stopped talking Stamos. Now, yesterday we mentioned that All Saints Series 7 is... Series 5 is coming out on...
7 would have been ridiculous.
I know, sorry.
What are you saying?
Insanity. Series 5 is coming out on DVD on July 7th. Taylor's written that into TV Week. A lot of emails saying, surely you're lying, Ed, this can't be true. It is true. I've checked. AJ has emailed in, and I've had a look at the DVD, and
Yes.
Tone, it said there's no special features. It's not true. Have a listen to these amazing special features on the All Saints DVD.
All right, hit us.
There are some hilarious surgery outtakes, such as "Where's my watch?" and it looked like a pancreas. There's a director's commentary there where the director just pleads for forgiveness for a whole episode. And a very special animated menu screen where John Howard experiments with a risky second facial expression. So there's plenty in there.
You know, you're talking like somebody who's seen an episode of All Saints.
have.
Really?
I have. Yeah, because there's a guy in there called Mark Priestley who does a great job. He's
Okay.
very funny.
What about our buddy Josh Lawson?
Oh.
He's coming out in that Sea Petrel.
You mean Sheffo?
Sheffo. Now, that's the thing. When he came in here, he was very cagey because we're going, okay, you're in Sea Petrel, you're the cook on, and he's going, leave me alone, no Steven Seagal under siege jokes. And he kept veering us away.
Yeah.
And I said to him one point, so what's your character called? And he just totally,
You just changed the subject.
I just think, what's over there?
Yeah.
Then he was gone out
He
of the
threw
room.
down a smoke pack, puff of smoke. We turned around, he was gone.
And what is the name of his character?
Sheffo.
Sheffo.
Yeah.
Do you think he's been named by Travis?
Or maybe.
What's going on with Travis? Are they
He's the pet. He's the pet in the Big Brother house.
Right.
Now something's happened or another.
It's going a bit Guantanamo.
Yeah,
isn't
well,
it?
this isn't, and I love the direction. I love the direction it's going in.
It's gone all Guantanamo.
Yeah.
Here on the banana.
But so he's the pet. But I think if we're going to be mean, let's do it properly.
Yeah.
Get them all in. Mud bath. Oh, thanks for the mud bath, Big Brother over the loudspeaker. Housemates, that was feces. You could have to join Galen's entourage as punishment and just wander Melbourne streets endlessly looking for a job.
It's bizarre what's going on in there. Somebody told me they had a police car,
Really?
like in the yard.
Really?
And is this right, Nikki? I mean, I know it was late at night, but I did see something like that, didn't I?
You did. They were
And-
on stakeout.
They're on stakeout. So Travis and someone else are in a police car parked in the yard of Big Brother. People who watch Big Brother will be listening to this going, yeah, well, that's normal.
Yeah, entertainment. What's your point?
And I think it just turned into a farting competition. in the
Ah,
car. But you
there
go, if
we
they're
go.
sitting in a
They
police
could
car,
turn anything into a fighting competition.
get some of those New Zealand drunks, send them in there. There's your intruders.
How come?
Send that guy. You're racist. You're racist. You're racist. How come? Send that guy in.
Look, the worst punishment that they could possibly get is to be... I'd love the idea that each day they're forced to watch yesterday's episode.
There's your punishment.
That'll
Rick.
hurt.
Yes, it's George McEncroe. You've seen her on Spicks and Specs or heard her, if you're a Queensland listener, on The Cage in Brisbane.
Every morning, or you might have even seen me on the Today Show. I don't want to build myself up too much.
Oh.
But you might have been under the impression that the only national show I did, and I just want to bring you down a few people.
Okay, now listen, you've been up close. The
Yeah.
silicon fake skin that they're putting over the robot that is Carl Stefanovic.
Yeah.
How
He's
realistic?
a very nice man.
Oh, don't say it. Now it makes me sound bad.
Yeah, no, that's what I said it for.
Is that really?
Yeah, no. He's a good stick.
There's talk that there's a robot boning on the way. I mean, there does seem to be, now that the Packers have gone.
A robotic boning would be particularly harsh.
Of course, Carl claims he isn't a robot.
Yes, I can confirm that we are human most of the time.
Then what's all the beeps, homie?
I'm not convinced yet. Amy.
Now, you get great call. I mean, I have to say, we get great calls on this show.
Sure do.
A fair percentage of them come from up north. I don't know what's going on up there.
Because they're good storytellers in Queensland, I think you'll find. And often it's only their one story of their life, but they tell it so well.
Yeah, they've been saving it up.
Yeah, you tap that rich vein of gold, which we did on this morning's show, because I had a terrible story. We had a freakish incident of nature at our house. We had a pigeon fly through my daughter's bedroom window
Yes.
and just, splattered itself against her bedroom wall. But we were all sitting there going, what the hell was that? And we went into her bedroom and there were just feathers and blood. And she's not even into sacrilege yet.
No, well,
she's only 9.
give it time.
Hasn't even joined her first cult. So we thought this is very odd. And we discovered this pigeon. So I did this story about, when birds attack.
When birds attack.
And we got this call.
I was on holidays at Port Macquarie many years ago, playing with the kids on the beach as you do, building sandcastles. We heard this absolutely blood-curdling scream from an old lady. She had been walking her chihuahua, and a pelican had swooped down and swallowed this chihuahua and was trying to fly away with this little old lady holding onto the lead and screaming, "Help, help, help!"
You're having us on, Wayne.
That can't be true.
That's a true story, yeah.
How did the battle play itself out?
Well, she just hung on, and eventually the pelican let go, and their little chihuahuas come out, and it's all wet and shaking and going on and on.
Wouldn't you love to have seen the Pelican take off with the old lady? She had a few decisions. She would have had to make some big decisions at that moment.
There you go. That's the team from the Brisbane Cage. Hello to everyone up there. A pelican?
A pelican.
So what can you get? How big is the old bill?
We know its beak
what
can
I was
hold more than its
thinking.
belly can. That's what we know about the pelican. That's about it.
Couple of
They're big.
suitcases? How does it
They're very
compare
tall.
to, say, the boot of the Navara?
Oh, nice.
Sorry, there's no boot, I don't think, of the Navara. I haven't been round the back yet. I'm too intimidated.
So how big an animal can a pelican get hold of? Or
Yeah.
kids?
This is a good test.
What if there's a kid, like in a Lion King outfit, if a little kid's wandering along in a leopard outfit, could a pelican, get a toddler?
I think they could.
Let's
Really?
find out next. No. Because bird attacks, walking through parks is the big thing.
Very frightening. Magpies, your obvious enemy of the human.
Well, I've mentioned quite a few times there's an old lady who walks through our park with a bike helmet on.
Oh,
And I've still got to get round to doing that thing. Well, first I've got to get a bike. You've got a bike
I've
helmet.
got a
Rick.
bike, man.
I've got to get a bike helmet, get some springy wire and just put 2 magpies on and drive through the park top speed screaming with them bouncing around pecking at my helmet. Is that a good station promotion?
It's a belter.
Would that get us into confidential if I was to do
no.
that?
we have to.
Isn't that rating well? Is that the new TV show? Oh, 'cause I was wondering what I needed in my life, and I didn't realise that what I needed was the stories of New Weekly, the ones that aren't funny, read out by a man with an interesting haircut on television. And now I've got it.
Yeah, now you get it. You were thinking it was just...
I was reeling from the loss of the catch-up. Thankfully, Confidential
Now-
stepped into the breach.
I do miss the catch-up. I know you bag it. I miss it. And, I do.
Yesterday on the show, we were playing this sound a lot. Fake!
Ooh.
The one from Today Tonight. And everyone likes to get into a bit of fakery. Have
Yes.
you done any of that?
I have done some as recently as within the last 24 hours.
Wow.
Because I can't bear, and I hope I'm not alone in this, uppity tradesmen who like to
yes.
give you the, oh, little lady, don't tell me you didn't. Oh, you wouldn't believe what people do. And then you have to sit there and just be belittled. So he'd had about 4 goes at me, and then he said, you didn't actually try and hold that on. It was on the washing machine. And I lied and said, no, I don't know how that happened. It was so obvious what I'd done, tried to tape this thing to the other thing to keep it together just to finish the load of washing.
That old trick.
And he just looked at me like, you're lying. And I thought, tradesmen, they must get so many people who just fib. But don't you hate being talked down to by mechanics and people go, You're an idiot.
When people come to my house, I like to count down the seconds till the word cowboys is used. Because apparently my house has been constructed in the Wild West. Every aspect of it is, you've had cowboys through here. What cowboys are responsible for this?
Yeah, I love it.
I bought a house that was sinking into the ground in the early 90s, and it's been re-stumped several times this week, and all by cowboys, apparently. You can get it re-stumped on Monday and get some new re-stumpers through on Tuesday. And I go, what cowboys did this?
Yeah, and then you want to go, which one would you recommend? And then say, I had them do it. It's too late, though, because no matter which answer you give, you're the idiot, and they're the expert. I can't stand
Tell me,
it.
is a tradesman in chaps a cowboy? Or...
And, of course, the great thing about the tradesman is he can just say any amount of money.
Yeah.
I know.
And you assume that that's normal.
Yeah, so you're stupid and you're about to be done over. It's not a nice feeling.
I hate it when people... I got a bed delivered a little while ago, and when the two blokes show up carrying the bed, I want to help. I don't want them just to think I'm like
the master,
like
uppity.
a punsy radio host who can't lift anything except a fork.
Yeah, despite
She'll
the
put
fact
down
that
the
it's true.
cigarette in the cigarette holder, though, when they come. That might get out of your slippers.
The cravat. No cravats.
And get out of the chair that they're carrying would also be a good idea.
Gentlemen, I'll be with you when I finish this chapter. Have you read Salinger?
I didn't think so.
I thought not.
Wow, fakery. Can we hear that sound again? Fake! I was thinking we didn't get to this yesterday, but faking stuff up. We used to do a great fakery at school, which was because we had to do Shakespeare. Did you guys do Shakespeare at school?
No.
Yep.
And the idea was we like to try and sneak a line into the play that sounded like Shakespeare, but clearly wasn't when you thought about it.
Yeah.
And my favourite one to sneak in, I always insisted this was actual Shakespearean dialogue, was waketh, waketh, hand off snaketh. Managed to get that one into Hamlet and Twelfth Night, I think.
You stole that from Kes and put it in Shakespeare. That's crossing the Year 10 curriculum into the Year 11. That doesn't work. You can't do that.
Wow.
Don't you like this? Eric Banner was Poiter. And one of his catchphrases was wakey, wakey, hand off snakey. And now Chopper Read is doing that very line in an ad for a hardware shop. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, well,
So technically Chopper is ripping off Eric Banner's gear.
How does that happen?
I'm full circle.
Maybe we've got to get all of the hardware ad representatives together. So you'd have Chopper Read, you'd have Greg Fleet, who's the home hardware dog.
Absolutely right. Does the Carpet Court Jester count?
He could be in there.
Is he all right?
And then, isn't it Jane Alsop's husband, who's the Mitre 10 bloke?
Mitre 10, like stubbied hunk dude.
Just get them all together.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Cage match. Fleety in the plasticine dog costume v Chopper Read, Jane Alsop's husband, and you're saying chuck in the Carpet Court Jester and the GE Money Genie as well.
Winner takes home a spirit level.
What about the Flight Centre pilot? He'd do well.
The Melbourne Giant, he could be in there.
The Flight Centre pilot is the most respectable of them all. When he doffs his cap to the bargain, so I'm like, that is cheap fare to Bali.
Morning, Captain.
Absolutely right.
Did you see that footage of John Stamos? Now, John Stamos, to me, always the poor man's Richard Grieco. Out here promoting, I don't know what, something.
ER.
Disgraced himself in a number of forums, mainly the Kerry Ann show. Did you see that, Jules?
Yes, and I've decided that Kerry Ann is a vicious, vicious lady who tries to undo otherwise good men. Look what she's had them doing.
I like where this is going.
Ruining careers left, right and centre.
Spiking drinks before they go on.
She looks all nice and fluffy, but I don't trust her.
I wouldn't say fluffy.
You don't think?
Kind of craggy.
Now, don't be mean to her just because you're young. It'll happen to you one day.
You'll be craggy in no time.
You'll be
We'll be
Botoxed
craggy.
within an inch of your life.
You know it.
Edward Craggly.
It'll happen.
So now what? He was slurring?
He was
drunk?
slurring. He actually sounded not so much pissed, but like he was coming out of a general anaesthetic. Very thick speech.
Oh, yeah.
And he had trouble over something about the ABC family. That really tripped him up. He was off his dial, no matter what you.
Was he? Because I love it when they're not just drunk, but getting out of their seat.
Yeah,
trying to
yeah.
stumble
I love
off.
that.
That's always
Uncontrollable.
good,
That's
isn't
the
it?
best.
Trying to
He
leave.
was
Oliver
moving
Reed.
props, moving around with props, insulting
great.
Kerry Ann.
Really?
Apparently, he said something. I didn't actually hear what he said about her outfit, but it was something. Did you see it, Nikki?
That's right. I saw him also invite her over to sit next to him so he can sort of snuggle up.
Yeah.
Oh, see, she is snuggly. You just don't know it.
So was there any prop work, like lewd prop
yeah.
work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
With a skull.
There was a
apparently.
see-through head on the set.
Mm.
And
Then what happened to that?
became his appendage. he put it on his shoulder. He became like a two-headed John Stamos. It was actually really good. It was
Okay.
really funny.
So is this a new direction for ER? Is this where they've ended up? Because I'm in. If this is where it's headed.
But he had the look. He looked like a sandcomber, like a beachcomber guy, because he was wearing the Converse All-Stars with no socks
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
and the short pants.
Maybe
Very
ER's taken a storm boy turn that we should know about. Long jumpers and no shoes.
Imagine if the Pelican had eaten the small child and flown
Brilliant.
away.
What
Sorry,
a
I was going back to your call.
What a movie.
Okay, so he's been turfed out of the country, essentially.
How'd you go, Stamo?
Do you think this is some sort of reaction he's had to the blue nude woman from X-Men leaving him? Do you think that's what it is?
What it is.
Oh, it could do it to you.
Yeah.
There's nowhere to go from that. That's the problem. If you get to that level and you're with like a lady of that hotness, she breaks up with you. What do?
It's all looking pretty grim after that, isn't it?
Where do you go from
Well, you
there?
crack on to Carrie Ann, obviously.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm picturing a blue and nude Carrie Ann. Stop it. Stop it. That's not our question today. Our question is, have you been given the ass John Stamos style? Who's on the line?
Hey, Paul, how are you?
I was about 18 and we were going to midnight mass come Christmas Eve, and one of my mates was highly religious and he had to go with his parents. So we all did the smart thing, went out, had quite a few drinks before we went, turned up at midnight mass. The third time that they had to wake me up because I was snoring, they asked me to leave, and I've never been back to a church since.
Yeah, well, if they're going to do old material, they've got to expect that kind of reaction. What sort of period of time are we talking about? What year would this have been?
About 15 years ago.
Oh, I saw that one. Was that supported by Nick Barker and the Reptiles? Sorry. Can't
Hey
resist.
guys, have you got a quick minute?
Yeah, we got a quick minute.
You know how you were talking about the Pelican grabbing hold of this chihuahua?
Yeah.
I was fishing many years ago with a father-in-law, and he had a Prince Charles Cocker Spaniel or whatever they are.
Yeah.
And the Pelican was trying to stay a bait. His dog come running up, and the Pelican grabbed hold of the dog.
Really?
For about 10 seconds, opened its mouth, the dog took off and turned up 3 days later.
Oh, and none of his friends believed him when he told everybody.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So what we're saying is Chihuahua, fine. Spaniel, fine.
Yeah.
Yes.
Call in if a Pelican's grabbed something larger
Yes.
than a Spaniel. Hi, Ashley. How are you?
Hi guys, how are you?
Excellent. What happened?
This is in regards to the Pelican story a second ago.
Yes.
We, my grandparents used to own a seafood shop called the Golden Prawn at Bribey Island, which is about an hour's north of Brisbane.
Yes.
Part of the babysitting duties was me in a prawn tub
Oh, really?
out the back overlooking the Bribey jetty.
Wow.
And anyway, they came running out one afternoon, and there's me in the mouth, sitting in this tub with the Pelican wrapped around me, trying to get my toy or whatever I had, and here's me holding onto the Pelican's mouth.
Oh, my
So
God.
you can get a 2-year-old, 3-year-old in a Pelican.
Okay.
So we've
I
gone
thought-
Chihuahua to
I-
Cocker Spaniel
To toddler.
toddler.
Fish-smelling toddler. I knew. Now, tell me,
Prawny.
Ashley, do you still have the sort of the faint waft of prawn about you?
No.
Cats following you down the street?
Ed would like to have a lick of you
Yeah.
if you do.
You're listening to Get This. Today we're playing What Can You Fit in a Pelican?
Hello, Ashton. How are you?
Good, guys. How are you?
Now, when were you in a Pelican, son?
Are you turfed out? Which
No,
topic are you
okay.
ringing about?
Well, a couple of years ago, some friends of mine and myself, we went to Canberra and went to Parliament House, and we were up in the, watching everything happen and getting a bit bored. So my friends and I decided we'd start the Mexican wave in Parliament House.
Great!
And we got away with it about 3 times, and then they came over and said, "Look, if you guys do this again, we're going to have to kick you out." And the rest is history.
Yeah, well, great. Because wouldn't you like it
Legend.
to take off and go all the way around the lower house as well?
Well, it was very funny because there was us, 2 of us over one side and 2 on the other side. So they'd do it, and we'd pretend and wait for it to come around, and then we'd do it.
Bounce it around.
It's probably the most entertainment they've seen in their years.
That's pretty good.
That's
That's
good.
surely appropriate for
That's going to take
Australia.
off.
Australian
We're
Parliament.
throwing some people out of here too, actually. So
There you go.
What about, the guys who sit, okay, you're on camera in the lower house, and then there's always a few people sort of on the rake up the back.
The extras.
I want one of them to just do the ugly Dave Gray scissors from Blankety Blanks. Just wait till Costello says something dodgy and they're just scissors. That'll be gone when it goes to air.
Thanks for the call, Ashton. Keep up
no worries, guys.
the good work. Hello, Mark. How are you?
I got kicked out of Scouts.
What happened?
It was a series of events, but it culminated in a camping holiday where I burnt my tent down and they found all the stolen food on the camp. And we got caught in the Girl Guides tent. So
Oh, so much going
Rebel.
on.
All these things. Snakes. Now,
Is,
what?
is there a badge for being caught in the Girl Guides tent?
we were going for it.
Good on you.
I'm going for my teabagging bag.
As long as you're prepared, that's all that matters. Oh,
Sorry.
no. Oh.
Sorry, it's unnecessary. What a fantastic bunch of turfies.
I reckon the pelican thing's got legs as well. I really do want to explore this.
All right.
What animal have you been inside of? That's a good fun
Now it's
topic.
my turn to look at you.
Oh, sorry.
Hey, you know that Paris Hilton business?
Yeah.
I know probably every breakfast show in the country has fished out the waters.
Yeah.
There can't be anything else to say, can there?
No.
Did you watch that interview?
It's like drift netting, I reckon, the Paris Hilton thing. There was some plankton and stuff to be had.
Yeah.
The breakfast shows have dragged the drift nets through it, and then it's just sort of barren wasteland,
Yeah.
which we're now going to farm.
I feel sorry for people on drive shows.
Yes.
Nothing left.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen. Honestly, I have seen absolutely. I saw a picture of her on the front of Who magazine, looking like Mother Teresa, and I thought, I'm out of this.
Oh, this is
Sorry.
the new pious Paris
yeah,
Hilton.
yeah, which I don't like.
And see, I just couldn't bring myself to watch Larry King. I don't understand what the fuss is about Larry King.
He's got braces.
It's just an elderly monkey.
Yeah, he's
I'm the world's oldest, craggiest, grumpiest monkey in a suit.
pretty impressive.
And like his questions, he'll take like 7 minutes to come up with a question. And something that pretty much anyone could have thought of themselves.
So, you're some kind of heiress.
Oh, good
What's
one.
that like?
Have you ever seen the stick that prods Larry when he falls asleep during the interviews? No. It's there if you're looking for it.
So somebody had to watch the damn thing. Mr. Marsland, have you stepped up to the
Got
plate?
the nod.
I took the bullet. And
Oh.
it was one solid hour. And I know what you're saying about Larry King because he's considered, he's the great interviewer in the United States.
And I'm sure he was at some point.
And so many opportunities during this interview for him to close the gate, as they say in the legal terms, to catch Paris Hilton out. But he just didn't use them. Like he had all these great opportunities. But it was an interesting interview anyway, I guess, if you're into that whole thing.
Really?
I was watching it
Prove that it's an interesting interview.
I was watching it going, can you make it? That's too obvious. I can't make that joke. The whole thing.
Give us one of the obvious ones.
On Friday you can, I get this.
Okay. Well, Paris, of course, she went into jail and then she went out of jail.
That's
A lot
right.
of people saying, what was the reason? Why did she get dragged out of jail? Psychological reasons. You all right, Tone?
Yeah, okay, keep going.
Okay, we're doing Where Have You Woken Up later on in the show. So here's Paris talking about some of her troubles in the prison.
Well, I suffer from claustrophobia my entire life. And when I first got in that cell, I was having severe panic attacks, anxiety attacks. My claustrophobia was kicking in.
Claustrophobic Paris.
Well, I think that originally occurred, that claustrophobia, when she was forced to live in a 14-bedroom mansion for a brief period.
If anyone's forced to do that. Just the walls are caving in.
But it wasn't just about her jail stint. It was also about Paris as a person.
Yeah.
Getting to know Paris.
I think I know her pretty well.
Some of the Paris story, yeah.
Well, I've seen her videos. I think I know her fairly well. I'm not sure if Larry King's going to come up with anything I don't already know, unless the interview took that kind of turn. Now, listen, Paris, I've seen some of your work, and, well...
We're going to have to pixelate the next section of the show.
Paris at one point was asked what she doesn't like about herself.
What's a personality trait Paris Hilton would change?
Something when I get nervous or shy, my voice gets really high. I've been doing that ever since I was a little girl. And that's something I don't like that I do. I like when I talk in my normal voice, but sometimes I go down, and that's something I'm trying to change about myself.
Okay. Who wants to take it?
No. You right, Tone?
No, I'm not going to say it.
The go down thing? When she gets shy.
Yeah.
Is she shy?
Very
Because
shy.
I've seen a lot of work in front of the cameras from Paris Hilton.
Doesn't look shy to you?
She's got a very deep voice at the moment. No, I haven't seen her voice go high and whiny for a long, long time.
She just sounds bored and disinterested
does.
constantly. Sort of mannered
You know what?
ennui.
She's kind of got one of her eyes is a bit lazy, right? And one of my eyes is a little bit lazy when you catch me in the right light. And I figure what I think it is that eye is already really bored of her, and slowly her whole body is going to be so bored of being Paris Hilton that one day she's just going to collapse on the floor in a mound of dust.
The bit I saw on the news, she was going, I really want to help all these women and build a shelter. And she was just looking down at either the ground in boredom or a sheet of paper that had been slipped to her under the desk by a publicist. Never taken any drugs. And you go, right, so all those joints that you've seen holding in the New Weekly, photoshopped in by
Absolutely
insiders
right.
and sources, no
Woody
doubt.
Harrelson throws him into her bag from across the room at parties.
Hey, you guys seem depressed. You guys seem cynical. You look like you might need some enlightenment.
Yeah, we're cynical as.
You need some wisdom from Paris Hilton.
We do, yeah.
Some some of her prison writings.
Uh-oh.
They say when we reach a crossroad or turning point in life, it really doesn't matter how we got there, but what we do next after we get there. Usually we arrive there by adversity, and that it is then and only then that we find out who we truly are and what we're truly made of. It's a process, a gift, and a journey. And if we can travel it alone, although the road may be rough at the beginning, we find the ability to walk it, a way to start fresh again. It's neither a downfall nor a failure, but a new beginning.
Oh, sorry. She sounded even bored by her own writing. Did you notice?
I noticed there was a big sniff in the middle of that. Was that her giving herself some extra motivation, as it were, to keep going?
Some of the drugs for her ADD.
Yeah.
Is that what you're suggesting?
ADD.
Yeah, that's right. She revealed she had ADD. Didn't know she gets easily bored quickly.
Some sort of acting deficit disorder going by. That one in the Wax Museum. She's talking about when you get to the crossroads. You're going, when you get to the crossroads, that's usually when you hit a lamppost, claim you were drunk, and then say, my agent forgot to tell me I was unlicensed. Is that what happens at the crossroads?
So I'm watching this thing and I'm 57 minutes in. It's 7.
Oh, man.
It's 3 minutes to 8. I'm going, geez, there's no jokes in this thing. But no, wait for Larry King's outro to his own program.
I want to be a good role model for these girls.
Thank you, Paris.
Thank you.
Paris Hilton. Tomorrow night, Colin Powell.
Okay, let's have some crime if that's your attitude. Although I can't decide
That is my attitude.
whether to have crime or football, but generally they're on the same
Have
page.
both. You know, always have both.
They're on the same page.
Let's go footy.
Okay, what do you got?
Well, there's that fellow,
Yeah.
Mr. Didac, who apparently was hanging out with the guy, the bad guy.
Yeah, I think the word you want is allegedly.
Allegedly, sorry, was allegedly hanging out with the.
Although I'd like to hear apparently more on the news. Apparently, Mr. Mockbell did this.
Word around the campfire is...
A mate of mine told me apparently he was hanging out with this at a nightclub with a guy that went and shot some people.
Yeah, okay.
In Melbourne.
Right.
And I was thinking that the other footballers are really going to have to put in over the weekend to knock him off the front page. Like, they're going to have to drink a whole industrial tub of sunscreen if they want to get Didac off the front counter. Or they're going to, and cabbies are going to have to watch out because they're going to be on the punch.
Cabbies are going to need to be wearing those inflatable sumo suits
to deflect the blows. Or because there was the guy that urinated in the casino.
Yeah.
To try and get Didac off the front page, someone's going to have to walk into the studios during Channel 10 News and just take a massive piss all over the weather desk to even get close to this guy.
I think Mike Larkin did that on Channel 10
did he?
News on Monday because he's running out of stuff to do.
He is.
Now it's over to our wacky weatherman, Mike Larkin. Oh, Mike, no, please. Can't.
No, go with me on this.
I'm throwing some cakes down.
So
Okay.
best of luck, footballers.
Now, I don't know much about football, as the listeners would be aware, but I do know one thing, that when you become an AFL footballer, what would be the first thing you would have to learn? What do you think that would be?
Rules of the game?
No. You get taken in, all the footballers at the start of the year get taken into a room and they project a phrase up onto a wall, and it's a phrase they're going to have to use a lot, and they have to say it over and over again. And the phrase is, I deeply regret the embarrassment caused to myself, my family, and the football club. Everybody once more. I deeply regret. They just wheel it out every week.
I know.
It's a very useful phrase. It's one you have to know. What about that Tony Mockbell? Now, we've been making the odd sort of joke about the hairpiece or whatever.
No, I'd like to say you two have, to any of the colourful racing identities listening.
Not to worry, I'm coming round on Tony Mockbell.
Oh, really?
I'm declaring the bloke a genius.
Great.
Have you seen what he's done now? He's hired high-powered, two-pronged lawyers. Well, he's got a two-pronged legal campaign.
Is that Zara Gard Wilson? No?
Oh, it must be Friday.
I feel dirty.
Sorry, Paris took me there and now I can't get out. It's quicksand.
Tony Mockbell, genius. Listen to this.
What's he come up with?
Over in Greece, Tony Mockbell's lawyers will argue that he should be allowed to lodge an appeal 14 months late on the grounds that he was denied the chance to challenge the verdict and sentence that he received while he was out of the country. So basically, he's fled the country, and as a result, he's been denied the chance to respond to the court.
How selfish.
That is brilliant. I mean, has anyone tried that one before?
You guys didn't call me to let me know. No one came up to me and asked me. I'm just sitting in a cafe. You could have just asked me.
I was busy escaping. How could I know what you were saying about me?
So what's the other prong? Wasn't me.
Do you need another one? With a strategy that brilliant, he's going to become the next Casey.
He's good.
He's going to be living in Greece for years,
Wow.
laughing it up with his two-prong lawyers. Saying, well, the only reason that I was found guilty of that business back in Melbourne is because they very rudely decided to try me while I was busy escaping from the country. That is brilliant. You've got to give him points for that.
I'm in.
All right. Have we got time for just one more of the... I know it'll be the last one.
Of what?
For the show, those Paris Hilton excerpts.
Oh, okay.
Have you got one of those? What do you got, Rich?
This is the strip search.
Were you strip searched? Do they do that in jail? I know they do it in prison.
They do. They do it in any jail.
What was that like?
The most humiliating experience of my life. I never had to do that. You know, doing that in front of someone you don't even know. It's pretty
so
embarrassing.
A woman police officer and you in a room?
Yes.
Is it as gross as we might think it is?
Well, it's pretty gross, you know, taking your clothes off in front of someone and having to do that.
So hang on. That was the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to her. So, like, having your personal sex tape distributed to the entire internet. Not a problem?
The point she's trying to make is it wasn't filmed. You know what I mean? She hates to see this stuff just going out into the ether, as you
that's
say.
Embarrassing.
And there's no record of it.
I'm doing some of my best gear here.
Yeah.
There's no footage.
No footage.
What a day in the office, though. You're going to strip search Paris Hilton? No, I've seen that movie already. I know how it goes.
There hasn't been many exclusive interviews this week, I have to say, yeah?
Yes, you're right.
Oh, were you not ready for this?
You're so right, Tony.
I'll just do something else while you're shuffling those papers?
No, I got it. Here we go. Now, listen to this, Mr. Martin.
Yeah.
Keith Urban's pants.
Keith Urban's pants?
Are being given away on a such and such radio show somewhere or another. And they've been autographed by the man himself.
Right.
And we are lucky enough to have an exclusive interview with Keith Urban's pants. Well, Keith Urban's pants, thanks for joining us.
I've met Nicole Kidman.
Thanks for your time.
Bombshells as always.
Whew.
Okay.
Not as good a talker as his hair.
Yeah.
His teeth does a good interview as well.
I could probably name more songs that his pants have done than he himself, although that's not fair. Let's have some of the music of Keith Urban.
Flowers drifting by the Pelican. In my dreams, so sweet, flower red, blue, or pink.
What I love is, that's not even Keith Urban. I went back through the podcast. That was from the clip Children's Poetry.
Or Keith Urban lyrics.
And that was one of the children's poetry.
Yeah, that was from Lena, aged 4. Now, what's worse is, so you guys play that and you have a laugh at
we
my
do.
It's brilliant.
my poor singing abilities.
We love it.
Rich, do your version, because you sing it in the office a lot.
I don't know the exact words, but it's
flowers drifting by.
Yeah.
In my dreams.
Flowers drifting by the pay. In my dreams, I see flowers red, blue, or pink.
It's just a little bit Bob Dylan.
Yeah, see, that's
Marsland goes electric.
Marsland comes alive.
Jazz festival.
I know, people are starting to sing that around the corridors. Maybe we could get Keith Urban to record a version of it.
Not a bad idea.
But then the royalties would have to go to, who was it?
Lena, aged 4.
So many letters come into us here, and emails, if you prefer. Savannah Kailas, she's going, okay, you don't seem to be running any month ideas for June. You know, jumper pants, that's sort of pretty good, but it's not really attached to a month like your previous ideas, like April and Dismay.
Pre-ops January.
She's waiting for what she calls Nick Kershawgust.
Wow, that's a stretch. It's a real stretch.
And then she wants to celebrate Howard Jones Timber. Okay, all synth pop for the later in the year. Ouch, it must be Friday.
Yeah, it must be.
Okay.
Ouch. Take that, listeners. You email us in an idea that you've lovingly thought of and then thought to send to Tony, and he responds with, ouch.
Oh, but I mean, he's saying it's Friday. All jokes must go. Look, that's better gear than I was running earlier about Tony Mockbell.
I was thinking about the Mockbell Shakespeare Company, but I can't really.
See?
Yeah, I know.
See?
It's a Friday sort of feel.
What else did I have? I was going to come on because it was Friday and say, what about that Pasha Bolka? What does that mean? Isn't that when you kiss a fat person in a nightclub? I'm going to pash a bulker. I pashed a couple of bulkers last night. That's Friday gear. That's what it is. It's Friday gear. It's get it out of your system, or you'll be saying it to yourself in your car over the weekend.
All right, then. In that case,
In that case,
in that case, A man has been freed by firemen after getting his penis stuck in a padlock.
Oh, wow.
Finally.
A man in his 50s. And it reminded me, Tony, what you were saying the other day. What do you do when you snap the key off in the lock?
You have a spare key on your key ring and you have a pair of pliers in your car.
This is what he needs. Spare penis and a pair of pliers.
Who's the boy today?
I was just wondering if it was a Lockwood padlock.
Richard's been in the pun tank all night.
I'm the puddle operator.
Oh, no, stop.
Can we get out of here, please?
Please.
Can we get out of here, please?
No, don't even play that clip. Go to some ads. Ed, someone's congratulating you. Listen to this. Chris Menz says he was out
Chris Men. This is a name that we're meant to believe.
Menz.
Even more. Come on, guys.
M-E-N-Z.
People, fake names. Just use your real names.
Isn't your name Cavalier? I've never met anyone with that name before.
It's made up.
Listen to this. Says Chris Menz, I was out on Saturday night for my boss's Bucks night. For some reason, we went to Hunchback's Theatre Restaurant.
Yes.
After a few drinks, it was amusing enough, but...
Amusing enough? Put that on the poster. Amusing enough. Drunken man on Bucks night.
But at one point on stage, a genie was offering to make any wish come true. The protagonist, after giving it some thought, wished for the return of It's a Knockout.
Brilliant.
At this point, I couldn't help but start applauding and cheering. So after the show, I explained to my colleagues I had to do it for Ed Cavalier.
Thank you very much.
Wow. So this weekend, I was at a theatre restaurant cheering for It's a Knockout. There's a top night. It's wonderful what booze will do.
He's drunken Midori.
He's fallen over.
Oh, Igor, what are you doing?
We want It's a Knockout back. Nobody listens to
Not the Friday night Big Brother version. This is not what we're after.
Here's what we like to do. Occasionally, we like to go AM. We like to go triple AM.
We do, Tone.
Here,
Yeah.
get this, so that everyone can have a whinge. What are you concerned about, Edward Cavalier?
Thank you very much. At 41 past the hour, I was listening to some AM radio yesterday.
Oh, yes.
And I heard this very rant about a similar topic.
Yeah.
It was called The Real Menace. Yes, you're on 6:01 AM and it's 11:30 in the AM. Now, there have been pages and pages in the press written about Princess Mary naming her daughter Isabella. Now, I'm not having a go at families. Oh, my word, no. But what is the big deal about Mary? A rich girl from Tassie goes to a nightclub and hooks up with a backpacker. Happens every week. I myself trawl the bars and alleyways looking for loose foreign tale of a weekend, and not a word is written about it. Why does the media blatantly ignore the real menace? Yes, that's right. I'm talking about pelicans. Oh, sure. Mr. Percival may look cuddly, but every day more and more kitties are being taken by these spotted bill maniacs, and yet we hear nothing. I myself have been inside a number of these creatures and will be silent no more. I'm calling on you, Mr. Newspaper Man. Enough with the stories of local girls getting knocked up in faraway palaces and more on the horrible shock of waking up in a dark, moist room and realising, oh no, they've swallowed me whole again. I'm Daryl Felch. Clayton, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. How you going?
Excellent. What would you like to have a rant about?
Mate, our old favourite telemarketers.
Oh, what have they done? They've stopped calling?
The champions last week from Telstra rang me and offered to make my home phone cheaper. But the problem is, I don't have a home phone. They rang me on my mobile.
Excellent.
Yeah,
So
wonderful research.
So they're saying, at the moment, Clayton, you're paying $0 for a home phone. What if we could offer you the same service for $40 a month?
I complained about people ringing up, and I said, if I want a service, I'll go on the internet or go out and get it, not deal with over the phone.
Exactly.
And he said, well, you could just not talk to me. So I sat the phone down.
What, and just let him talk to himself?
Yeah.
Just,
So he not only lost a sale, he used our money, our taxpayer money, for Telstra.
That's the way to deal with them. Nicely done,
Thanks,
Clayton.
Beautiful. See ya.
Who else deserves to die horribly? Under the broadsword of justice, Ed Cavalier.
That's all the hate we've got time
That's
for,
all the
Tone.
hate. It's been a big week for crime news. I'd like to congratulate everybody who works on this show for the good taste and reticence in not making any cheap jokes about that Renee Rivkin case and that very disturbing breast request down at the morgue.
I've got some more disturbing.
We have had no jokes about morgnogs, and I'm not going to start now. I'm not going to bring the show into disrepute.
Get this, it's blown out to 2 hours, 11 to 1 weekdays on the Triple M network.